From NBA life, fights, controversy, to becoming an NBA champion. Being there for George Floyd, and being a voice for the community. To now having an award-winning podcast. Today we sit down with STAK, Stephen Jackson.
We're here at the Omni Hotel in Frisco, y'all. The Hometown Burger Brown Show. Another episode. We're coming at you right to a home living room near you with your boy Stephen Jackson, aka STAK.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burger Brown Show.
Man, I look up to him, we here. So tell me about All the Smoke.
All the Smoke, award-winning podcast that me and Matt started 3 years ago. We're in season 3 right now. It started with me and Matt both doing ESPN, both doing Fox at the same time. And we was like, bro, you know, we are making these shows hot. People watching ESPN and all that because of us. Fox because of us, so why don't we do our own show? Then when his sister came up with something like, she's like, why don't y'all call it All the Smoke? Because we are the first two guys to go on ESPN and advocate about cannabis that we smoked while doing our career. So we was like, you know what? We gonna be the first NBA players, both NBA champions, and we smoke. So this gonna be our first podcast, never been done before. And Showtime saw our vision. Shout out to Ellen Rickerton. She is the creator of Red Table Talk. She hooked us up with Showtime, and now we're award-winning show with me and my brother Matt Horns.
About your NBA teams, what teams did you play for?
Started off with New Jersey. Went to Atlanta, had 2 years and won a championship in San Antonio. One year in Atlanta where I had to still prove myself. I had 2 good years, almost 3 good years in Indiana. A lot went on with the Malice and the Palace and the strip club shooting, which sent me to Golden State. Made history in Golden State, did some great things with my brothers in Golden State, moved on to Charlotte. But Michael Jordan got his team to the playoffs for the first time. And after that, after Charlotte, it was just me just winding down. My career was winding down because people, you know, they was trying to push guys like me out the league. Me, Ron Artest, Bonzi Wells, Allen Iverson, you know, the guys that was really for the culture. They was pushing, they was pushing us out the league. So after that, I went to Milwaukee for a month, stopped playing with them. I was start releasing a lot of music during that time because I didn't want to play in Milwaukee. And I finished up with the Clippers for a year. Actually went back to San Antonio for 2 and made it back to the Western Conference Finals, then finished up with the Clippers.
So I was blessed. I was the barber for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I cut a lot of guys. I was always up there with, you know, Jordan Clarkson, Kendrick Perkins. He found me and he loved me. We clicked like brothers. We argued like dogs, you know. And he moved me to Houston, Texas. I knew nothing about it. And he always talks about his big brother STAK. So tell me about where you grew up at, where you from a little bit, and some of that into there.
I grew up in Port Arthur, Texas. Home of Pimp C and Bun B, UGK. That's how I make sure everybody know where I'm from, the bottom of the map, 45 minutes an hour from Houston. We call Port Arthur baby 3rd Ward. I think a lot of the stuff that we connect with from Houston came from guys in 3rd Ward that we were related to. So Port Arthur's just a smaller 3rd Ward. I grew up, Port Arthur was 8 sets of projects, 1 high school, 2 high schools, 1 grocery store. And nobody in my hometown would ever thought about being successful if it wasn't for Pimp C and Bun B. We didn't know nothing about making it out. We didn't think we had the characteristics. Growing up in Port Arthur, we had the knowledge to make it out. But when we seen Pimp C and Bun, UGK make it, that was a lot of inspiration for me because everything they was talking about, I seen firsthand on the streets of Port Arthur, Texas. So my city has a big part of me being successful. And I say that because I did everything possible in my youth to be dead in jail. Everything possible. Tried it too many times, but the streets, people in the streets of my city always protected me. They seen I had a career in basketball when I didn't even see it. So a lot of my success come from the people around my city, not the people who run my city. They ain't shit. I'm talking about the people in the city, the real people. The people who run the city ain't shit. They told me before I can get my own street, I gotta die.
Wow.
So fuck put out to the people who run the city. But the people who live in the city, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all and I do everything for y'all. Kendrick Perkins grew up in Beaumont, which is maybe 10 minutes from Port Arthur. And,
Okay.
And our cities never did get along. Man. Still don't a little bit to this day, but me and Kendrick has mended that, brought that together, the two cities together, from us having the same high school coach, from us growing as brothers, and me supporting him when he was coming back from high school. I used to go to Beaumont to all his games, and that wasn't normal for Port Arthur people. So by me and him having the same coach, I think our coach is one of the only coaches in the country who have two players to come out of high school, both NBA champions, and both still doing big things after basketball. Wow. So shout out to Coach Butte. But
shout out.
Butte made me take Perk under my wing, and he was like a little brother, and he still is like a little brother. I was in his wedding and all that, so I'm just happy to see him still succeeding and making history, on TV now, because we both doing things that nobody said we could do without a college degree, without going to media training and all that, and we killing it. So I just think...
heard that, young fellas?
Yeah, no, we didn't do nothing. But I just think, when God has something for you, there's nothing you can do to run away for it. It's gonna hit you dead in the face. And I think it was just destined for us. But a lot of things that happen to us, this is saying I go by, the benefits of being real is so beneficial. Everything that's happened to me is because of how I treated people. I always treated the janitor like I treat the boss. Yes, and a lot of things that's happened to me in my life, and the opportunities I'm getting up become because of how I always treated people. So keep that in mind. You treat people right, good things always happen to you.
So tell us about Twin. Everybody knows about George Floyd, but some may know, some may not know. You were one of the leading activists, and what happened with him. Let's speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not letting nobody else take credit for what I did for my brother. I am the activist for my brother. Everybody else came along because they saw an opportunity to come on a big moment, right? That was my real pain. That was my real brother. There's nobody else on the earth I call twin. And that was my real pain. So I wasn't, I don't call myself an activist. Activists go to every event to every city when something's done wrong or somebody's been, killed or done wrong as far as our race. But I'm not that guy. That was my real friend. So that's why I showed up and stood tall. I put everything on the line, my job, everything on the line. But I didn't care about that because, Bun B told me that moment when I was finna do my press conference, and what made me feel confident in what I was doing and made me feel like I was doing the right thing because I had no clue what I was doing. Bun told me, everything you've been through in your life built you for this moment. And I sat there and I kind of went through everything I've been through in my life, before the NBA and after, and during. And he was right. And so I was able to stand tall. I was able to take what was coming with it, all the death threats, people, my jobs being threatened, everything, because everybody that's been killed by the police, nobody had a celebrity as a friend to stand up for them. And none of them had a person like Steven Jackson who looked just like him, who was an NBA champion, who had the biggest podcast in the world, to stand up for him. So I had to use my voice in any way I could. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I was gonna stand for my brother. And every time they kill one of us, the first thing they do is try to bring up your past and demean your character. Well, that's what I wasn't finna let them do. His close friend is one of the most successful people in the world. And I'm gonna stand, and every time you see me, you're gonna see him. So that was my whole thing. And I just thank Allah for the strength to get me through it, because it was some tough times. People, threatening my family, threatening me, my jobs being threatened, my livelihood, a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I got a cop arrested. So shout out to Ben Crump and everybody else that had a part in it. But I know if I wouldn't have jumped out there, this situation would have been totally different, because we've seen it so many times with other people getting killed by the police.
Yes, sir. Stack, what you listening to? When we came up with those CDs and tapes.
Yeah, I'm listening to La Russell out of LA. I can't get into too much of the, I'm 44 now, so all the killing and shooting you 9 times in every rap, I'm not with that no more. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I experienced a lot of that my whole life.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So life is great for me, man. I want to hear music. I want to listen to music that keep me in a good vibe, that got a message, that have some type of substance. If I'm listening to anything like that, I'm old school. A-Ball, MJG, UGK, of course. A-Ball, Fifth Ward Boys, the Ghetto Boys. I listen to Houston, a lot of Houston music. And I still listen to Future, NBA YoungBoy, all that type of stuff. But on a daily basis, I'm jamming Sade,
old school.
Michael McDonald,
Balance,
that type of stuff, man. But LaRussell is who I got on repeat right now.
So STAK, you in the dark alley, right? Mm-hmm. You got two guys that can be and fight out of the alley with you. They NBA guys. Who you taking?
I'm gonna take Zebo, and I'm gonna take.
That's Zach Randolph.
Yeah, I'm taking Zach Randolph, and I'll take Ron Artest.
Ron Artest.
Yeah, because I know regardless win or lose, we gonna go as hard as we can, and win or lose, we gonna take it on the chin.
Yes, sir. Short-term goal and long-term goal, STAK.
Short-term goal. Short-term. I just got long-term.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have any short-term goals.
Cool.
All my goals are long-term because I know everything is a marathon. Nothing's built overnight. So my long-term goal, which I've already started, is just continue to build generational wealth for my children. Mm-hmm. I didn't moved on from basketball. Now I'm doing coaching, commentating in boxing, award-winning podcast. Now I'm gonna start acting. Will Smith's company is shooting my documentary. So everything I'm doing now is to build generational wealth for my kids. I lived a great life. I did a lot of things that I want to do. If anything happens to me, I want my kids to continue to live this great life, but I also want to put them in positions to be successful. So just continue to build for my children.
Okay. And what team do you coach, and who did you used to play for in the Big 3?
I used to play for the Killer Threes. I coach Trilogy now, defending champions, but I played for the Killer Threes, and I left the game leading scorer all time.
Yes, sir. I was a coordinator.
Gotta say that. Gotta say that.
Jackson now. Captain Jack, crossover, count it, and he'll go to the line. And it's Steven Jackson. Here's Steven Jackson. STAK 5, dunks it home. He's able to get past Joe.
Gotta say that.
They quit. They tend to quit. Get real quick.
For sure. So I was a coordinator that year for the Killer Threes, Charles Oakley, Steven Jackson. So you had to be tough to handle those guys. You feel me? Man, this was one of my best episodes. My big brother is love. Man, we got one last thing to do though. Shout out your home.
Shout out Port Arthur, Texas, my second home, 3rd Ward. Also, I live in Atlanta, so I gotta shout out to A, but 2 places I can't forget, Oakland and Philly. But really the earth, my turf.
Hey.